And so the kid got free makes across the world with their sisters, big tails. See, big tails, white and girls. See, so, but I think the group of you guys got to be careful for is Anna Beswick and that group of girls there, and the Schwartzes and the Kinteers and so on and so forth, and the Bueller girls, Joe, because I think she's safely guiding them through the gambit that you cannot do. And so, Joe, I think what's got you guys, ladies, you kind of want to maybe follow Greek Frost because he probably had it right in the first place. So, Joe, I think a group of you, Joe and Bernard and Ellery and Perlita and Dave and Roble Knight there and 61 Amphibious Base Man are scared because the group of you like to copy and emulate and pretend to be other people's fathers or parents that you're not. And what some of those guys might have done, like Jay Beswick or Greg and let's see, the Buellers, your son-in-laws there, Joe, and Ron Miller and Mel Kolb, and some of those guys might have done is called up a bunch of the fathers and families to watch your miserable failure, Joe, until a man, as they confirm, and as Greg Faust basically confirms, you killed his son, Joe, in multiple places for your Fairmount idea with the Robo Rapist Knight, the Red Randy, and all that. So, again, Bernard, we never wanted your red Garni and your fake eye because there was one already created. And maybe that's what the fight was about because there was something already there. And then guess what? Garni mode came down and through with Perlita, the ghetto survivor. And they didn't want your ghetto out here, Joe, Indian Joe, because they knew. So, yeah, you probably got some parents and families kind of sitting back and laughing, Joe. The big I told you so comes through about what the group of you adults did to some of their children. So, Bernard de la Garni, if you act and you want to sleep with other men's wives and daughters, you want to be careful, dude. If they don't agree, like I said, Mr. Hilton and the Kennedys got the best spot with the Bowmans right now. Because they get the big I told you so about a lot of you and about their idea they may have had for the children in a hospital for the Jews. And guess who had to disagree with it is with everything. Mr. Joe Zillig in the Fairmount Cemetery mess. So Dave, the superior boy, could make vampire or zombie. So like I said, they let you have easy zombie Ellery and Joe. But the reasons why Ellery, Joe, and Perlita, Dave, Roble Knight, Randy, Bernard, that you guys keep getting mangled up is because you stole other people's stuff and they had figured it out. Understand, Bernard? So you can gloat and pretend and put her there and say, we did it! But you don't look too hot and you're sick and you didn't take care of some issues. And that's why Ellery, they're like, why didn't it work again? Well, because you stole it again, dummies. Protections, remember, Bernard, Dave, what you steal, sometimes there are genetic protections put in there to show and prove. Robo Knight and Experimenter 1961 and Dillaman to prove that who are the ones who took it and then modified it for their, comic book delusional fantasy just so they could get laid. And that's not always a good idea. So your story, Joe, Ari, and Bernard, is just to what? Cover your tracks, right? And, make up a war story that you guys were supposedly the winners when in fact really you were the losers. But like I said, let the oppressor win. Right? It's a lot easier because if you guys don't want to listen to anybody else's advice or story, let the oppressor win. And so he's going to Indian fade out. It's still there, Joe and Harry, because you still use the torture device. You used it as a torture device because what? You were jealous, Joe? Right? Come out here and jack up his stuff, my stuff. Right, when they try to fix it for you guys anyway. So it gets kind of annoying when people try to get it working and fixing, when maybe also, like I said, Joe, there was nothing wrong at all. You're just, a racist idiot who liked to put his dick inside of boys and shit there where it didn't belong, to keep rejecting you idiots. So yeah, bitted bet for them. Maybe they did it to see which ones of you snuck inside of children's beds that didn't want you there. Elton and Don in the bathroom story with Bernard and Ellery and the Gilligan's Island, Fantasy Island, Showboat Joe, Robo Knight. Understand? Maybe not. People didn't want your story in the first place out there. Understand? So a device for protection against children, and obviously you guys didn't want to heed it, and guess what? It turned into a big mess.